and welcome to the news at 10 on NTN 24. Live from Abuja, I am Nina Daniels. The headlines. Federal Executive Council approves procurement and debt servicing processes for power sector. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, intimates media executives and influencers with federal government projects in Southeast. People's Democratic Party announces November 2025 elective national convention remains unchanged. Let's start by telling you that moments from now, President Bola Tinubu will depart Abuja for a two-nation trip to Japan and Brazil. The president will stop over in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, before proceeding to Japan. In a release by a special advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu in Japan will attend the 9th Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD-9, in the city of Yokohama from August 20 to 22nd with the theme, Co-Create Innovative Solutions with Africa. The Nigerian president will also hold bilateral meetings and meet the chief executive officers of some Japanese companies with investments in Nigeria. Initiated in 1999 by the Japanese government and co-hosted by the United Nations, UNDP, the African Union Commission, and the World Bank. TICAD is a triennial conference held alternatively in Japan and Africa. The last one took place in August 2022 in Tunisia. The forum fosters high-level policy dialogue between African leaders and development partners. At the end of TICAD-9, President Tinubu will leave for Brasilia, the capital of Brazil, on a two-day state visit from Sunday, August 24 to Monday, August 25. This follows an invitation by the Brazilian President, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. While in Brazil, President Tinubu will hold a bilateral meeting with his hosts and attend a business forum with Brazilian investors. His delegation, comprising key ministers and senior officials, will explore opportunities to strengthen cooperation and sign agreements and memoranda of understandings with the Brazilian government. And the Federal Executive Council has commenced processes towards fast-tracking improvement in power supply situation across the country with approvals on procurement and debt servicing processes. This was one of the major decisions at the Council's latest meeting. State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports on this and other decisions of the Council.
The Federal Executive Council this day recorded notably low number of memos, but with significant outcomes. Far-reaching as they come, with President Bola Tinubu himself taking the floor to update his foot soldiers on the indices for social and economic progresses. He recommitted to building the proposed 1 trillion naira economy by 2030. But on these, he wants ministries, departments and agencies' dedication to optimizing public savings and spending efficiencies. The president also announced the cooperation elicited from the sub-nationals on the Renewed Hope World-Based Development Program.
And that collaboration is going to be key in the world-based initiative across 8,809 wards to provide in all the 774 local governments to provide funding, support, and facilitation to thousands of economically active individuals at the grassroots in each ward. And this is a way of addressing poverty and ensuring, as Mr. President has promised, that no Nigerian will be left behind. So it's a collaboration between the federal, the states and the local governments prioritizing productivity-enhancing investments.
The coordinating minister got approval to commence a phased plan for the refinancing of the electricity sector outstanding obligation of 4 trillion naira. 3 of the memos approved for the Power Ministry are for the procurement of various grades of power transformers to replace the dilapidated ones across the national grid. The 14 transformers procurement will cost the government more than $34 million.
If this is done, it will not only enhance power supply, but to also relieve overloaded power transformers that is operating across the national grid. And this will also enable us to cope with the increased wheeling capacity of the national grid. The national grid is over 50 years old, and we know that a lot of the power transformers, the cables, they are old, they are weak, so there is the necessity for us to regularly maintain the grid and replace all these old and dilapidated infrastructure.
Another memo approved for the ministry is for the disbursement of compensation for the right-of-way for the Lagos-Ogun Industrial Hub Transmission Project. The project is being financed with a $238 million development loan from the Japanese government. The Council equally approved commencement of a new policy towards strengthening tertiary education institutions in the country with approval of a 7-year moratorium for establishment of new federal tertiary institutions.
The FEC decision today is the most pragmatic and the best for our educational system, for our tertiary educational system, so that we can sustain the respect that the world has for us. We can now begin to mobilize resources to improve infrastructures, both manpower and physical infrastructures, in the current institutions that we have as a federal government. If we do this, we would also expand, we'll be able to improve quality of education, and more importantly, increase the carrying capacities of these universities, of these called polytechnics and colleges of education.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Transportation got approval for the construction of bus terminals, 1 in each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, with consideration for economic viability of the locations. From the State House, Musbah Nanwahab, NC News.
Still on some of the resolutions of the Federal Executive Council. The Council has directed that all procurement processes under the 2024 appropriation should be concluded by September 2025. This is one of the directives following the presentation of the Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement, BPP, Adebowale Adedoku, to the Council. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, announced the 6-point directive on public procurement at the briefing of the FEC meeting.
And that awards should only be made subject to the availability of funds to avoid unnecessary liabilities. The second one is that ministers are requested to forward to the BPP a comprehensive list of projects that have been awarded under their ministries and their parastatals for the 2024-2025 fiscal years for analysis and transmittal to the President's office. The third one is that ministries, departments, and agencies should give preference to made in Nigeria goods. Now, recall that the Federal Executive Council had earlier approved the Nigeria First policy, where a directive has been given to MDS to prioritize only made in Nigeria products, unless and until there are situations where this, of course, is not possible. And so, further to that, Mr. President and the Federal Executive Council today considered that MDS must give preference to this, the local use of companies in the delivery of works and services. And these works, goods and services must, however, conform to international standards and must be certified by relevant government agencies. Because we say that we want Nigeria first policy, does not mean that procedures and processes will not also be followed.
Other points include that ministers ensure that significant number of their projects under the 2025 fiscal year are procured through the open competitive bidding. The council also mandated the finance minister to ensure that the DGBPP is always involved in loan negotiations for infrastructural development purpose. Government-owned companies and enterprises are equally directed to always comply with the Finance Act of 2020 in their procurement processes. In another development, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says the renewed hope agenda is real and is working. The minister disclosed this at a parley with media executives and influencers in Enugu as part of activities to commence the 3-day citizens engagement and tour of federal government projects in Enugu and Ebonyi states and the southeast. Correspondent Salihu Abdullahi Wanara reports that the minister was represented by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Minister of Information and National Orientation, Chinasa Obodo.
Ongoing and commissioned projects of the federal government and those of government of Enugu State. Same day shortly after the tour of the projects, we will be having a citizens engagement forum here in Enugu State Government House by 6 p.m. at which we will have the opportunity to rub minds and get feedback from various stakeholders in Enugu State. This pattern will be repeated in Ebonyi State, where His Excellency Governor Ogbonne Nwifuru will be receiving us on Friday, August 15, 2025. The two citizens engagement events will be broadcast live on national news networks.
The team embarking on this engagement is made up of officials from the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation and its agencies, members of the National Communications team, and other critical stakeholders. The People's Democratic Party says it will not tolerate disloyalty from any member, restating that its November 15 and 16, 2025 elective national conventions stands. This was at a media briefing in Abuja. Correspondent Timothy Yusuf reports that the party also reacted to some speculations surrounding its 2027 presidential ticket.
Level of preparedness of the PDP elective national convention slated for 15 and 16 November 2025 was the agenda of this media briefing by the party's national spokesperson, Debo Ologunagba. Assuring that all is going well for a successful convention, Ologunagba stressed that total commitment to the party's cause is non-negotiable, as the party will rely on its constitution to ensure members remain committed to its cause.
We have a process. We have a constitution. We're going to obey it. We're going to follow through. We're not confrontational. We're not fighting nobody. But we will respect our processes. We will respect our institutions. We will respect our organs. We will follow through, work together in the interest of the party one, in the interest of democracy, and in the interest of Nigerians.
Responding to question on speculations that former President Goodluck Jonathan and the 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi are gunning for the PDP presidential ticket for 2027, the party's national spokesman reacts.
The question you're asking is Jonathan running. Ask him, he's in December mind. I don't speak for President Jonathan. You go ask him, you have access to him, I know. I know you do. So ask him. It's not for me to speculate what so that's your own imagination. We're talking to Obi. I don't know why I'm asking that person. Ask Obi who's talking to him.
About the recent conditions set by certain members of the party for the success of the November 15 and 16 National Elective Convention, Ologunagba emphasized that the PDP is about the people, not any individual. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Let's take a break now. More reports when we return.
Feel the power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blending performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
The Baffy Furniture Shopping Festival is here. From June 15th to August 15th, enjoy 20%, 30%, up to 50% off on most products. Explore 2025 exclusive collections at discounted prices, plus wedding packages with a free TV stand gift. Plus, free delivery and installation in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu. Customize your favorite sets in your preferred color and fabric, from kid-friendly options to our luxurious smart beds. Don't miss out. Shop now at Baffy Furniture.
Thanks for joining us again. National President of the National Union of Rail Transport Workers, NURTW, Musiliu Akinsanya, also known as MC Olomo, has commended the federal government for the compressed natural gas initiative, which he says the union has immensely benefited from. This was during the National Administrative Council meeting held at the NURTW headquarters in Abuja. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
These are representatives from 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT, who have come to discuss on the path of progress for the union. And one thing that was quite emphatic was commendation of the President Musiliu Akinsonya's leadership, which they say has brought new development to the union.
And since the inception of the incumbent president, in person of Alhaji Musiliu Akinsanya, MC Oluomo, the union has achieved a lot. All the errors that have been on ground, he has been trying to see that he put it off.
When he emerged, about 8 or 9 states were not working. But today, almost all the states are working, including Lagos.
We see the difference, we see the development, we see the improvement, and we see that NURTW has become a new era in Nigeria.
The General Secretary of the Union, however, intimated on the importance of the National Administrative Council.
It's the next to the most powerful organ of the union in all trade unions. The National Administrative Council are the working officers of the union that brings about today about the day-to-day running, seen to see day-to-day running of the union in Nigeria. And it's led by the President and the General Secretary of the Union.
On his part, the NURTW boss, Musiliu Akinsanya, however, charged the members not to relent on their oars, while reiterating his administration's efforts in ensuring better welfare for all members. He commended the federal government on the CNG initiative, which he says has brought a great relief.
Injecting more CNG buses to the public is a welcome development, and if you observe, the masses are very happy that the buses are of optimum benefit to the people. And as such move will boost the economy of Nigeria, And the president is really trying for us on this. And I believe that CNG uses should be used to empower with the national union.
He charged state governments to follow suit to make transportation easier in their respective states, which he says is meant to crush cost of transportation. He as well appealed to the Oyo State government to lift the ban placed on unions' activities in the states, stating it is affecting not just the members, but the commuters as well. Some retired members were as well commended and celebrated, and two of whom were appointed as special assistants to the national president of the union in different capacities. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NT News.
The Minister of State for Regional Development, Oba Meigeri Amadu, has visited Ankai Automobile Company Limited in Hefei, Anhui Province, China, to assess the progress of the manufacturing of e-buses procured by the Northeast Development Commission for mass transportation in the Northeast region. The minister was accompanied by Managing Director, NETC, Mohammed Al-Khali, management and some board members of the commission. The visit highlights the NETC's commitment to improving transportation infrastructure and promoting sustainable development in the region. The e-buses are to provide efficient, environmentally friendly and reliable transportation services, enhancing the quality of life for residents and supporting economic growth. The minister's visit is focused on assessing manufacturing progress, ensuring the e-buses are being produced according to specifications and timelines. The NETC's initiative to introduce e-buses for mass transportation demonstrates its commitment to sustainable development and improving the lives of Northeast residents. And in a bid to build a strengthened tourism sector, Emerging Abuja believes collaboration and partnerships remain the cornerstone of a thriving tourism sector. During the presentation of award and investitures of patron of the organization, Air Vice Marshal Salihu At-Dahoud noted that he is a commitment to maintaining national unity through tourism and culture.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. And this is Emerging Abuja souvenir.
Oh, wow. Ideas flow from brains that are engaged. If you go to sleep, your brain will go to sleep. So for someone to think of something like this is something to be appreciated. And a laudable project like this does not take, don't expect it to be realized in 1 year or 2 years. It's going to take a long time. And wherever I can source for people from outside Nigeria who can assist in the project, I'll continue to do that.
He also highlighted the need to promote the oneness of Nigeria using tourism as a viable tool. The Sultan of Sokoto and President General of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Mohammed Saad Abubakar, was among respected voices from across government, religion, the academia, and diplomacy drawn at the unveiling of Nasrullahil Faith Society, the first 25 years with commendations on NASFAT's impactful journey and continued relevance. Suleiman Abdul Wahab reports.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, expressed pride in NASFAT evolution and applauded the leadership, membership, and the author, Professor Shian Oyefeso, for documenting a story that transcends religious boundaries.
Let's read and let's ponder on what is in the book, and let's also try to work with what we believe is the best thing for us as Muslims, as non-Muslims in this great country. Let's pray for our leaders every time.
He stressed the importance of praying for the national leaders and urged the completion of the Lagos Ibadan NASFAT Mosque.
This book is a valuable resource for understanding of our past and a tool for inspiring future generations. As we celebrate our 30th anniversary, which falls within this year, This publication is a gift to posterity. It tells our story with candor and clarity. How young Muslim professionals inspired by the need for spiritual connection and community building come together to create a movement that will redefine Islamic propagation in Nigeria and beyond.
The 360-page book traces NASFAT's transformation from a small prayer group in Lagos to a global Islamic organization. It highlights key milestones such as Fountain University, NASAS, Capsan, and Havek Academy, reflecting NASFAT's balance of spirituality and professionalism.
Because it teaches us about leadership. Even an organization that started with 10 members now has hundreds of branches all over the world within just 25 years. It means that everybody who's interested in making something happen has something beneficial.
Nobody ever thought NASFAT will grow up and expand to what we have today. Imagine a few families sitting down together and say we want to be coming together to be having a salatu, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed it. NASFAT is in over 360 locations across the globe. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen for the journey so far.
It also touches on NASFAT's impact in education, interfaith dialogue, and youth development, including partnership with bodies like UNICEF, NAPTIP, and many more. In Abuja, Suleiman Tobu Abdul Wahab, Internews.
And that's the news at 10. Thanks for watching. I am Mina Daniels.